guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and I figured I probably should go ahead and cover this. So we know what a number of events, there's one thing I forgot to pull up ahead of time, I apologize, but we know what a lot of the things coming to Global for this sort of thank you celebration are going to be. Well, I don't know if it's, I don't know, not really thank you celebration, but sort of November. Typically Global, over the months of like November, December, January are ridiculously busy. I remember several, like in UI Goku showing up out of nowhere on Christmas. At the time, it was like the best banner ever. There's going to be stuff like that coming for Global. So it's like Global, this is the way it works with Global, right? Every year, things end up similar where it's like so ridiculously hype, right? Global goes straight from their anniversary, basically directly into the download celebration for two of the most biggest celebrations of the year back to back. And then there's a typical little lull, which Global has just experienced. But now from this point on, it's just going to be nonstop banners and insanity, right? Like we know for sure over the next 2 months of, I would say, 5 major banners. This Gotenk's banner right here, this is the teaser for the new Gotenk's event. Then, of course, there's also this Exchange Majin Buu event as well, and this banner. Not the biggest fan of this guy. I would definitely say avoid this guy. Wait for this guy to come later on in the future. Then, of course, there's going to be the Evolution Blue Vegeta Kaioken Blue Goku banner, the LR Full Power Jiren banner, and then, of course, the Tianabata banner, which has the Blue Fusions, LR Gohan and Goten, and Blue Goku and Vegeta all on it, right? Also, I was correct about this. So they dropped, what was it, over on Global. They brought out the Gotenks and Tarble, like, sort of story event, and they pushed that up on Global into the Ultimate Gohan celebration, replacing it with this. Now, at the time, a lot of people were like, oh, Global Shaft. And, like, I was just kind of like, no. To me, it seems very clear that they're just swapping that with, like, the Tarble and, like, Gotenk thing, right? Like, they're sort of swapping the two story events. Like, they didn't forget about this on Global. Because this celebration with Gotenks and Buu is bigger than the Gohan celebration on Global, right? Because this one's a dual DOKKANFEST and stuff like that. So it does make more sense for this little event revamp to be arriving now on Global at the dual DOKKANFEST rather than with Ultimate Gohan when he came out at the start of October, right? There are a few other things, by the way. I don't know exactly where they're specifically getting this countdown for here on the Dokkan Wiki. I'm actually unsure of where they're getting this exact sort of countdown right here, but basically it looks like Gotenks and Buu are probably exactly 2 days away. Typically, the teaser in the news does mean 2 days away, but it's not guaranteed. It's not 100% of the time that it does that, right? Let me finish covering the news, and then we'll talk about the units. There also are these tickets. These tickets are going to be for the Gotenks and Buu banner. Remember that Gotenks and Buu's banners were... At the time on JP, I didn't think they were that bad, but, I mean, upon looking at it now, the banners do seem rather weak. It's always difficult for me to tell Global players to skip banners when you have these Global exclusive discounts, right? And I see Global players get tired of hearing about how good the discounts and stuff are on Global, but tough shit, tough titties. Guess what? You're going to be told about that every 5 seconds because that's one of the big advantages Global has. A lot of people love the foresight that Global has, right? The ability to see what's coming and stuff like that. Like, here on JP, the Angel Golden Frieza banner drops, and, like, I was telling people, like, this is uncommon. This banner is way too good. Like, what is coming after this? It makes no sense. Look at this. Frieza, Beerus, Blue Kaioken Goku, Cooler. Like, this is insane. This is a literal murderer's row. And I was thinking it was for heroes, and then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is announced 2 weeks later, right? Like, that's exactly the type of thing that doesn't really happen on Global 99% of the time, right? You're not just like, all of a sudden, there's a character on the level of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta showing up out of nowhere who's insanely good, right? So, like, that's another one of the advantages of Global. What's crazy to me is, from what I've seen, now it's not going to load. It's sick, right, as I get to Gotenks and Buu's banner. But what's funny is, I've seen most people sort of talk about liking the the ability to see what's coming ahead in global more so than even the discounts. But to me, the discounts are far more of an advantage because, like, there's global players that are going to use those free tickets right there, and some people are going to pull Gotenks and Buu just off of those free tickets. I mean, it's huge. Like, that's really, really meaningful and impactful. All right, so we'll quickly take a look at these banners real quick. Then we're going to talk about the update that's coming as well. All right, so yeah, I mean, fodder, but I mean, he's going to get his EZA soon. He'll obviously be crazy after that. This guy's good, but I mean, you know, that he's good. That what else do you want me to say? You're good, but it's the same thing. Like, what do you want me to say? There's units that do both of what these guys do better than what they do, right? Piccolo's good, but he's very restricted still. This guy's good, but he's also a little restricted. And then this guy's super good, but this is not... Like, we just look at that Frieza banner. Like, that's a banner you summon on, not this. Like, you know, there's going to be, like, all kinds of discounts, tickets, all that shit on Global. If you want to maybe do an initial round of discounts or something like that, I can't really discourage people from doing that. But keep in mind, there's just far better banners coming up with better featured pools, better characters, just better everything coming up. These, like, if you... I just don't think it's very wise to summon for these characters. I just don't. It's just... these guys were a miss on Dokkan's part, quite honestly. Maybe if they were able to transform into their final forms a bit quicker. Like, see, like, this Buu himself, I'm sorry. Like, before he becomes Super Buu, you guys know, I just go crazy about the slander for this guy. Majin Vegeta is obviously very good. He could be a bit restricted. Same with Goku without orbs, right? Zamasu is good, but, I mean, he gets hit hard. Broly's good, but he gets hit hard. Metal Cooler's good, but he gets hit hard. You're better after the Link level update, and then you're, like, the worst 120% EZA lead, probably by far. It's just, like... I mean, there's never been banners more easily skippable than this. I would say there's a really high chance that these banners are potentially even dramatically changed. I feel as though the possibility exists that 2 or 3 units could be changed on each banner, but I don't want to get people's hopes up. Because we never really can predict. Sometimes they change stuff, sometimes they don't. It's always very difficult to predict exactly what they're going to do, right? I do also want to point out that update 4.12.0 is coming soon to Global within the next couple of days right here. This update, it is very buggy, unfortunately. I assume Global is going to get all the same annoyances and bugs and stuff like that that JP has had to deal with the game slowing down. Probably the implementation of Safety Net, which is a thing that kills all modding in the game. Right, so that's going to be going away after this comes out. The orb update shows up here, so you can click and see how many orbs you're going to get. It does not show you directly how much key you're going to get. That right there is going to be down here on the actual character wheel. But I have found, for something like Super Battle Road and stuff like that, it's very helpful to just be able to, at a glance, see what the character is going to get to. This is definitely a good update right there. And then all of your Elder Kais, Zenny statues... the April Fool's Day waifus from 2018 all go into a separate space of your box, right? Which is good. And you have infinite space in there. So you can have 3,000 Elder Kais, I think. Like, it just goes on and on. So that's very helpful. I think, in particular, for, like, free-to-play players, this is an amazing change, right? This is going to be very good for free-to-play players to more easily hold on to their Elder Kais, and then more easily be able to just grind up characters without having to worry about space and all of that. So that's going to be really, really good to see. But again, keep in mind that update 4.12.0 does kill basically all the modding in the game, right? So, you know, you boys out there with your several hundred Link level 10 units, you know, do more quickly before this goes away, because after that, you just got to grind that shit up the good old-fashioned way, right? So, all right. Then we've also got Gotenks himself. Again, he's solid in base. All I'm going to give him really is solid. I mean, typically you can get his defense high above like 150k after he super attacks. Not really anything special right there, though. As Super Saiyan Gotenks, he is a handful. Very easily able to jump up over 200k defense, 70% chance to stun. Typically, you know, he'll be in like the 2.5 million attack range. But like, think about what I just said, like 2.5 million attack range. Like, I just got this guy to Link level 10. I also just got Exchange Buu to Link level 10 as well. I'm going to do showcases for them maybe today, maybe tomorrow, sometime soon, within the next 2 days, and we'll take a look at them. But I they're just not on the level of the new units. Like, that's the problem. That's an issue, right? When you do this right here, back in April, they had not started power creep, right? Because Kefla was a Dokkan Fest after. Kefla is very good. But then the power creep sort of exploded, I would argue, with Full Power Jiren. When Full Power Jiren came at the end of July, every unit after that is just beyond belief. Like, Ultimate Gohan, you know, came out in August, months after Gotenks and Buu on JP, and Ultimate Gohan shits on these two. Like the Tech Ultimate Gohan, the Z Sword version is, like, better defensively than even, like Super Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Like, it's pretty nuts, right? So, the other thing, too, about their transformations, right? Both Gotenks and Buu are exactly like this. So, they transform on turn 3, right? If it's turn 3 exactly, you can float Gotenks and Buu off rotation, and you'll be able to transform on turn 6 with their active skill into either Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks or Super Buu, right? But very specifically, it has to be you float them off turn 3, and then turn 6 you could transform. It doesn't really make sense with the wording here. I don't know. It's odd. But typically, most of the time, you're probably not going to see Gotenks and Buu until turn 7 for their final forms. Now, obviously, turn 7 final forms are ridiculous. This guy's got a 50% chance to stun, 50% attack and defense for 3 turns, and he has a 70% chance of doing, like, 2 super attacks as well. So this guy could have back-to-back turns where he triple supers, and his defense is going to be like 600k or something like that. Like, it's just going to get so radical, and he's going to be pushing out like 5 million attack stats on all these attacks. Like, he is very strong, right? This Gotenks is really, really powerful. But takes quite a bit to get to there, right? Now, then we go to Exchange Majin Buu again. He has the exact same transformation mechanics, works exactly the same as Gotenks, but this unit is ass until he gets to Super Buu. He's just fodder. Like, I know not everyone cares as highly about, like, no item, like, runs and, like, Super Battle Road and stuff like that as I do, but, like, this guy doesn't really do much. I mean, he's weak, for one, right? I mean, maybe if this unit had, like, big bad bosses the whole time. I mean, obviously, like, Fat Buu and Skinny Buu are not big bad bosses units, but Super Buu could have had it, right? I mean, his link set is definitely solid. Like honestly, Fat Boo's link set is pretty solid. I'm looking at it, right? Like, Wall Standing Tall, Infinite Generation, Innocence, Majin, Fierce Battle. Like, that's going to work good on the Majin Power team, Power Absorption, teams like that for sure, right? No doubt about that. Oh, I didn't talk about Gotenks' leader skill. Well, it sucks ass. Special pose and youth is garbage. It's a literal throwaway. No one uses him as a leader. That's the issue. Now, Buu, here's the thing about Buu. Buu has an amazing leader skill, I would argue. This is a god-level leader skill, personally, I think, because Artificial Lifeform is one of my personal favorite category teams. I absolutely love the roster you have available here. And then on top of that, we know how stronger all of the Boos and the cells got, right? And you just have a team where you could run all the Boos and all the cells together. You have the 50% AGL support, you have the 50% tech support, and you have the 50% physical support as well. So this team just looks really, really good. Oh yeah, the new Mira's on there as well. That's nice. Yeah, Mira's going to be good on Artificial Lifeform, unless you're using a Raleigh. or Mr. Buu, I guess. But Mira's going to be solid on there for sure, right? So that's good. Now, the Exchange Buu got cucked a bit here on Global, though, because obviously LR Buu tanks came out after this Exchange Buu on JP and he also has a Majin Power leader skill. So, I mean, Buu tanks is just so much better of a unit. You probably would want to run him as a leader, even though Exchange Buu's actual, like, buffs for Majin Power is better than Buu tanks. You guys get what I'm saying. It's just, like, he kind of replaced this unit. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Artificial Lifeform, though, this is still the best leader for that team, right? Now, again, the reason I'm so low on this unit, so here, let me pull up Fierce Battle real quick. And we're going to pull up Zamasu right here. Zamasu comes out on April 26th of 2019, right? And then, like, he's the same unit, basically. Like, right? Like, you look at what he's doing, and it's he's virtually the same thing. Like, they're so similar. First form. We get to the second form, right? Now, Zamasu doesn't really have a great super attack effect, whereas Buu does, right? Sealing is good for Super Battle Road. Still has a 40% chance of reducing damage. High chance to stun attacked enemy. That's a 40% chance to stun for 1 turn. He's got the medium chance of dodging instead of 25 or 30. Please be 30. It's 25, of course, yeah. It's just like all this stuff, it's not stuff you can rely upon. Like, he doesn't have a reliable ability, this Skinny Buu, right? Like, 40% damage reduction is nice if you have defense, right? The high chance of stunning the attacked enemy, I mean, I guess that's okay when you combine with his sealing, because the sealing is guaranteed, and then you've also got the 40% chance you could stun him for that turn as well. I mean, that is good. And then medium chance of dodging enemy attack, I love dodge if it's 50% or more, because at that point, it happens routinely enough that you can actually sort of rely upon it, but you can't really do that here. Now, you compare that to this Zamasu, and it's like, Skinny Buu at that point gets a little bit better, but like, the Zamasu has a way better link set. He's got big bad bosses and stuff like that, whereas the Skinny Buu, like, is a full year later, and they didn't make him, he's not like head and shoulders above Zamasu. Now, once you get to this form, he is. This guy is good. He does a lot of damage, but this guy is OP. Super Buu is busted. I will not slander this guy right here because of this right here. He greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns, still has the seal, but then his damage reduction also now goes up to 50%. 50% damage reduction with 100k plus defense, which this Buu will often have, is a recipe for a king. And that's what this Super Buu is a damn king. But the problem is you're not going to get this guy out a bare minimum until turn 6. Not very realistic on many events in the game, right? He also hits ridiculously hard, and then he gets this extra chance to crit per Rainbow Key Sphere. Link set is good. We know how powerful the Link set is, but, Buu could be better, right? Alright, so we also have, these 2 units get their awakenings with Gotenks' medals. These 2 are crazy if they're next to each other. Like, if you have another Kid Trunks with this guy, if you've got another Goten or Krillin with either of them, they're able to get up to, like 190% attack, but they get the 2 different attack buffs and 70% damage reduction. They just look really, really good. Like, these guys are very strong, actually. They're very, very good units, so that's good to have old unit awakenings come out, right? Because the awakening for that Trunks right there, awakening for that Gotenk's just very good overall. Then we also have Skinny Majin Buu gets his Dokkan Awakening from Exchange Buu's events. And then this Skinny Majin Buu, again, is a terror. He is super good with his dodging, with his defense, with his stunning. This guy is just a really good unit overall. So Skinny Buu, again, is very, very good. Dokkan did a very good job of giving this guy an awakening and turning him from a unit who is borderline fodder into like just a god tier unit. So that's super good. And then the free-to-play Great Saiyaman 1/2, I mean, they're okay. They're a free-to-play unit that's got like some utility with lowering attack and stuff like that. And you can exchange into Great Saiyaman 1 right here, Gohan. And, he can get like I think like a 2 million attack stat and stuff like that. But there's nothing special about this unit. It's just sort of like a free-to-play unit. That's just, a couple of teams could use the help, like Peppy Gals, Earthling, Special Pose. And that's just sort of what we got right here, right? So, let me know what you guys think of these new units coming. Again, I would recommend to skip as much as possible on these banners. I mean, there's going to be discounts and tickets and stuff like that, but there's far better stuff coming. Angel Golden Frieza, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Heroes, LR Full Power Jiren, Blue Goku and Vegeta, all coming to global. Potential global first in December, since we've had one 2 years in a row. The Tanabata banner, like, there's just so much shit that's coming to global. These guys, I just... It's like, if you get super lucky and you pull them, like, I feel like it's not really going to do much for you. They're good, but they're easily replaceable on every team they're on. Like, I do use the hell out of this Gotenks constantly in, like, challenge runs and stuff like this, but, you definitely can do without these units, and their banners aren't great. Like, literally the only reason I could recommend people to summon is because of the global exclusive discounts. That's it. That's the only reason I could think of to summon on these banners. So keep that in mind before you summon. Let me know what you guys decide to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.